All right, guys, let's check out another Luminox. So this one is unique in the sense that it is almost completely constructed out of recycled material. The case, the bezel, and the strap are all recycled material. And from what I can understand and what I'm reading here is the material is from plastic that was in the ocean. It's ocean waste plastic that it gets snapped up. There's groups of fishermen and stuff like that that are paid extra to, when they run across it, they swoop it up and then they can bring it into the recycler, and then it gets out of the ocean so it doesn't damage the wildlife or the ecosystem in the underwater world there. So big thanks to my buddy Richard over at Saltzman, who constantly has been working with multiple YouTube channels and definitely my channel. So big thank you to Richard and Saltzman's as a whole. Hopefully I'll be able to visit, on-site visit over there at some point in the near future. So case size on this, the website says 46. I measure from here, so like from the 40 to the 10, which is a legit measurement. That's where people measure these watches. So I measure 45. I don't get 46. You know, it's definitely going to be like over 50 on the very wide here with this nub and then the crown guards, but legit measurement of 45. The lug to lug on it is 51. The thickness is just over 14.5, and that goes to the flat sapphire crystal on the top with AR coating on the underside. 200 meter water resist screw down crown. That crown is 8 millimeter, and that's made of metal, steel. I'm assuming 316 steel. 24 millimeter lug width. That is very common in the Luminox world, whether you get a bunch of different variations of Luminox. They're very commonly using 24 millimeter. So this one's obviously some sort of nylon or fabric strap. It's recycled material, however they made it. I know that some of that recycled plastic actually gets spun into yarn, so it might actually be constructed out of that. Has the quick release spring bars there. You can see a screw down case back. Has a protective coating on there, guys. This is a brand new watch, not my watch. I'm not going to peel it off. You can see there sapphire crystal. It's the 8900 series. Some information regarding the tritium tubes, because this is a tritium tube watch, water resist, and then ocean water material. So it's very cool. The hashtag Tide ocean material. So very cool. If we look at the case, you can see it's like almost semi-transparent, a very smoky color to it. And then on the bezel, of course, you have the white and then a little splash of orange up to the 20. And then you have the raised section on the bezel all the way to the 20 as well. There's a look at the beautiful blue dial with a splash of orange. And the way they accented the recycle emblem of just above the 200 meter above the 6, that little extra red in there actually gave it depth. It took me a while to stare at that and look at it to see if that was like an applied logo or something, but it's just done in the color, so it added depth, and that was well done. You can see the hand stack there is nicely separated using that Ronda 515 movement, which spaces out the hands, so you have clearance for the tritium tubes on the hour, minute. And then, of course, you have the tritium tubes at the 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And then you do have some tritium tube here at the 60 on the rotating bezel. Retail price on this is $545. You know, I didn't mention the model number. Here is the hang tag. It is a XS.8903.ECO or ECO. ECO? Yeah, ECO. $545 is the retail price. I'll put a link to Saltzman's in the description. You reach out to the good folks over at Saltzman's, let them know that I sent you. See if you can work yourself a deal. The quartz movement that's in this should have a battery life of about 50 months. So expect to change that after a few years, 4 years, whatever. I did mention there's a 60 click bezel. Let's operate that. A little bit of play in it. This is my first time handling a recycled material watch, I believe. Because the full-on plastic or resin Luminox, the bezel actually is usually much tighter than this. But I think it's just the construction material they used on this. It's, you know, it's a little harder to meet their specs, I'm sure. So let's pop this on wrist. Oh, did I mention the weight? 69 gram. That was another thing. I weighed it on my scale, which I use all the time. And I weighed in at 69 grams. It's on the website as a little bit heavier. So It's actually kind of nice that it's a little bit lighter. I'll show you that box too. Very simple cardboard packaging, so staying with that same theme of, you know, recycle and everything like that. They can't make this huge monstrosity of a package. That would be very hypocritical, I think. So, and there's some information there, always visible, the tritium tubes, and that's the same thing you're going to read when you go to the website and look up this one. So, and there's like kind of a picture simulating some of the plastic that they would pull out of the ocean to make this, and it gets all cleaned and processed and all that stuff, guys. It's not like you have dirty plastic watch on your wrist. But here it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. Being so lightweight, the larger size, the 45 by 51, kind of like negates that. It doesn't really become a factor, but it is still a little bit larger watch. 24 millimeter lug width there with that 51. It kind of like visually shrinks it down a little bit. It balances it out versus having like a 22 lug width. So I'm glad they went with a 24. Very nice watch. So now let's see if we can, this can be tricky. Let's see if I can show you guys. All right, let's kill some lights. We'll kind of slowly roll into this, and we'll see how well we can pick it up. I think you're picking it up a little bit right there, but if we go like this, there, you can see you have orange tritium tube at the 12 and the 60 on the bezel. You have green at 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, and then you have green on the hour and orange on the minute. So nice tritium tubes. They're T25 tubes. I know everyone still would like to see the T100 tubes used in Luminox, and maybe that'll happen in the future, but I suspect not, just because they kind of have their gig. They have their system, right? Different watches, different price points, have different layouts in their tubes, and they can get pretty creative. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Big thanks to Richard at Saltzman's again. Check him out. I'll see you on the next vid.